Hello friends, my name is Rohit Raj. Today I am going to discuss about Microsoft Azure fundamentals, cloud concepts. So let's begin our journey. First of all, in this module, we are going to describe what is cloud computing. It covers things such as cloud concepts, deployment, modules, understanding shared responsibility in the cloud. Learning objectives. Upon completion of this module, you will be able to define cloud computing, define shared responsibility module, define cloud models including public, private, and hybrid, identify appropriate use cases for each cloud module, compare cloud pricing modules. So in this topic we are going to discuss about what are cloud computing, what are shared responsibility model of the cloud computing, and what are cloud models including private, public, and hybrid, identify appropriate use case for each cloud module, describe the consumption based module, compare cloud pricing module. So let's begin. So now begin with the introduction to Microsoft Azure fundamentals. Microsoft Azure is cloud computing platform with ever expanding set of services to help you build solutions to meet your business goals. Azure services support everything from simple to complex. Azure has simple web services for hosting your business app presence in the cloud. Azure also supports running fully virtualized computers, managing your custom software solutions. Azure provides a wealth of cloud-based services like remote storage, database hosting, centralized account management. Azure also offers new capabilities like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things focused services. In this series, you will cover cloud computing basics, be introduced to some of the core services provided by Microsoft Azure, and well learn about the governance and compilation services that you can use. So first of all, we have to know what is Azure fundamentals. Azure Fundamentals is a series of 3 learning paths that familiarizes you with Azure and its many services and features. Whether you are interested in compute, networking, storage services, learning about cloud security best practices, yeah, exploring governance and management options. Thinking of Azure Fundamentals as your curated guide to Azure. Azure Fundamentals includes interactive exercise that you give you hands-on experience with Azure. Many exercises provide a temporary Azure portal environment called the Sandbox, which allows you to practice creating cloud resources for free at your own pace. Technical IT experience is not required, however, having a general IT knowledge will help you get the most from your learning experience. Now, why should I take Azure fundamentals if you are beginning to work with cloud? If you already have cloud experience, Azure fundamentals provide you with everything you need to get started. No matter your goals, Azure fundamentals has something for you. You should take this course if you have general interest in Azure. Yeah, in the cloud, want to learn official certification from Microsoft. That's code is AZ900. The Azure Fundamentals Learning Path series can help you prepare for exam AZ900. Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. This exam includes 3 knowledge domain areas. Now, introduction to cloud computing. In this module you will be introduced to general cloud concepts. You will start with an introduction to cloud in general, then you will dive into concepts like shared responsibility, different cloud models, explore the unique pricing method for the cloud. If you are already familiar with cloud computing, this module may be largely review for you. Learning objectives. After completing this module, you will be able to define cloud computing, describe the shared responsibility model, define cloud models including public, private, and hybrid, identify appropriate use cases for each cloud module, describe the consumption-based model, compare cloud pricing modules. So by learning Azure fundamentals, you have ability to describe what is cloud computing, shared responsibilities, cloud modules like public, private, appropriate use cases for cloud module, describe the consumption based module, compare cloud pricing modules. Now coming to our next topic, what is cloud computing? Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet. Computing services include common IT infrastructure such as virtual machines, storage databases, networking. Cloud services also expand the traditional IT offerings to include things like Internet of Things, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. So you can think of cloud can is providing everything that you need to host your services, manage your services, build application in the field of machine learning and artificial intelligence. Azure is handling each and every services that you can use. Azure has that. You just need to sign up on the Azure portal and start creating all these things. Because cloud computing uses this internet to deliver these services, it doesn't have to be constrained by physical infrastructure the same way that a traditional data center is. That means if you need to increase your IT infrastructure rapidly, you don't have to wait to build a new data center. You can use the cloud to rapidly expand your IT footprint. Describe shared responsibility model. That is our next topic. Before we know discuss what we have learned in the end, Azure we can what is Azure fundamentals and how we are going to describe the cloud modules, public, private, and what are their use cases. We are discussing on these things. You have to stuck to it to know it more about all these things to perform better in your career. And if you want to learn Azure, please subscribe my channel and support me. Describe shared responsibility model. You may have heard of the shared responsibility model, but you may not understand what it means and how it impacts cloud computing. Start with the traditional corporate data center. The company is responsible for managing the physical space, ensuring security, maintaining or replacing the servers. If anything happens, the IT department is responsible for maintaining all the infrastructure and software needed to keep the data center up and running. They are also likely to be responsible for keeping all systems patched and on the correct version. With the shared responsibility model, the responsibility gets shared between the cloud provider and the consumer. Physical security, power, cooling, and network connectivity are the responsibility of the cloud provider. The customer is not connected with the data center, so it would not make sense for the consumer to have any of those responsibilities. By using cloud services, you don't have to manage physical data center services like physical security, power, cooling, and network connectivity. These are the terms that will be managed by the cloud provider for you. As a consumer, you don't have to worry about all these things. So that's all are provided with the shared responsibility module. At the same time, the consumer is responsible for the data and information stored in the cloud. You would not want to cloud provider to able to read your information. Consumer is also responsible for access security, meaning you only gives access to those who need it. So consumer only have to manage their data and information stored in the cloud, and consumer also manage their security, who will access their cloud services, who have that access to manage. Then for some things the responsibility depends on the situation. If you are using cloud SQL database, the cloud provider will be responsible for maintaining the actual database. However, you are still responsible for the data that gets ingested into the database. If you deployed a virtual machine and installed an SQL database on it, you would be responsible for database patches and updates, as well as maintaining the data and information stored in the database. With an on-premises data center, you are responsible for everything. With cloud computing, those responsibilities shift. With on-premises data center, you have all responsibilities managed by consumer. With cloud computing, those responsibilities shift. The sales responsibility model is heavily tied into the cloud service types covered later in this learning path. Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Infrastructure as a service places the most responsibility on the consumer, with the cloud provider being responsible for the basics of physical security, power, and connectivity. On the other end of the spectrum, SaaS places most of the responsibility with the cloud provider. Parts of being a middle ground between IS and SaaS rests somewhere in the middle and evenly distributes responsibility between the cloud provider and the consumer. You will always be responsible for information and stored in the cloud. As a consumer of cloud services, you will always be responsible for the information data stored in the cloud. Devices that are allowed to connect your cloud, cell phones, computer, and so on, accounts and entities of the people, services, and devices within your organization. The cloud provider is always responsible for physical data center, physical network, and physical host. Cloud provider is always responsible for physical data center, physical network, and physical host. And your service model will determine responsibility for things like operating systems, network controls, applications, identity, and infrastructure. So which service model you are going to use, that will determine operating system responsibility for the operating systems, network controls, application, identity, and infrastructure. By service models being mean infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So with the shared responsibility model, we have three types of module: infrastructure as a module, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. As a consumer, you will always have to manage data that are stored in the cloud, devices that are allowed to connect and accounts and identities of the people, services, devices within your organization. And on the other hand, cloud provider has always to manage physical data center, physical network controls, physical hosts. Let's see the graph what is saying. It will be showing you everything that will be what are the responsibility of cloud provider and what are the responsibility of consumer for every service module, like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. And on premises you can see everything is given in the picture. If you have any doubt regarding this, you can consult me or you can write in the comment. Now discuss about cloud modules. What are cloud modules? Cloud modules define the deployment type of cloud resources. The three main cloud modules are private, public, and hybrid. Cloud modules define the deployment type of cloud resources. That means how we are deploying our cloud resources, that will define what our cloud modules. According to, there are three cloud modules: public, private, and hybrid. Now discuss about what is private cloud. Let us start with this private cloud. A private cloud is in some ways the natural evolution from a corporate data center. It's a cloud delivering IT services over the internet that's used by single entity. Private cloud provides much greater control for the company and its IT department. However, it also comes with greater cost and fewer of the benefits of public cloud deployment. Finally, a private cloud may be hosted from your on-site data center. It also may be hosted in dedicated data center off-site, potentially even by a third party that has dedicated data center to your company. Now discuss about what is public cloud. A public cloud is built, controlled, and maintained by a third party cloud provider. With a public cloud, anyone that wants to purchase a cloud service can access and use resources. The general public ability is a key difference between public and private clouds. The general difference between public and private cloud is the public availability. Hybrid cloud. So there is difference between public cloud and private cloud. A private cloud is a cloud service that is used by a single entity that is not publicly available for use. And on the other hand, public cloud is available for public uses, not for the single entity, a single organization. Public cloud can be used by anyone. So let's move to hybrid cloud. A hybrid cloud is a computing environment that uses both public and private clouds in an interconnected environment. A hybrid cloud environment can be used to allow private cloud to search for increased temporary demand by deploying public cloud resources. Hybrid cloud can be used to provide an extra layer of security. For example, users can filter through which service to keep in public cloud and which to deploy to their private and cloud infrastructure. So you have to understand that means hybrid cloud is both public and private cloud. Is combination of public and private cloud. And that means a private cloud can use the public cloud for some to manage their increase in demand, their security patches. They can use that public cloud. So in that cloud services in which both have public and private cloud module is involved, that cloud is called hybrid cloud. Flowing table highlights a few key cooperative aspects between the cloud modules: public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. In public cloud, no capital expenditure to scale up. Private cloud organizations have complete control over resources and security. Provide the most flexibility. In hybrid cloud, provide the most flexibility. Application can quickly provision it and deprovision it. Data is not collected with other organizations' data. Organizations determine where to run their applications. Organizations pay only for what they use. In public cloud, hardware must be purchased for a startup and maintenance. In private cloud, organizations control security, compliance, and legal requirements. In public cloud, organizations don't have complete control over resources and security. Organizations are responsible for hardware maintenance and update. Let's move to our. So you have to understand differences between public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. This table shows you some of the key differences between the points of the three models of cloud, public, private, and hybrid. Now let's discuss what is multi-cloud. A fourth and increasingly likely scenario is a multi-cloud scenario. In a multi-cloud scenario, you use multiple public cloud providers. Maybe you use different features from different cloud providers. One, or maybe you started your cloud journey with one provider and are in the process of migrating to a different provider. Regardless, in multi-cloud environment, you deal with two or more public cloud providers and managing resources and security in both environments. So in multi-cloud, you are going to use more than two cloud providers. You have more than two cloud providers for managing your organization resources and data security. So in multi-cloud, you are responsible for managing multiple cloud providers, handling of data by multiple cloud providers. You can use one cloud provider as a startup for your journey and slowly migrate to other cloud provider. These types of module is called multi-cloud. Now let's discuss about Azure Arc. Azure Arc is a set of technologies that helps manage your cloud environment. Azure Arc can help manage your cloud environment, whether it's public cloud or solely on Azure, a private cloud in your data center, hybrid configuration, yeah, even a multi-cloud environment running on multiple cloud providers at once. So you can think of Azure Arc as a set of technology that helps manage your cloud environment. Azure Arc is a set of technology that help you manage your cloud environment. Azure Arc can help manage your cloud environment, whether it's publicly cloud or solely on Azure or public cloud in your data center. A hybrid configuration, even a multi-cloud environment running on multiple clouds all at once. So Azure Arc is a set of technologies that helps you to manage your cloud environment, whether it is public, private, yeah, hybrid. Now let's discuss about Azure VMware solution. What if you are already established with VMware in a private cloud environment but want to migrate to a public or hybrid cloud? Azure VMware solution lets you run your VMware workloads in Azure with seamless integration and scalability. VMware solution is an virtualization service. If you have VMware solution in private cloud environment, you can migrate to public hybrid cloud with the help of Azure VMware solution. So by discussing, we have discussed various cloud modules: public, private, hybrid, multi-cloud, Azure Arc. What are their use cases? Which will be beneficial, and in which cases what are the consumer roles and what are the cloud provider roles? What are the things that will be managed by the public cloud providers? What are the things that will manage the private cloud providers? What will the things managed by the hybrid cloud provider? And cloud matters, what are the things managed by the cloud provider, and as a user you have to manage. That's all you have to remember. You have to remember these things to understand better all the concepts that I am going to teach you in the further lectures. By knowing each and every module's differences between them, you can grasp Azure concepts. By grasping Azure concept, you have a fully understanding the upcoming chapters. Describe the consumption based module. When comparing IT infrastructure modules, there are two types of expenses to consider: capital expenditure and operational expenditure. Capital expenditure is typically one-time upfront expenditure to purchase or secure tangible resources: a new building, repaving the parking lot, building a data center, buying a company vehicle are example of capital expenditure. When comparing IT infrastructure model, there are two types of expenses to consider. One is capital expenditure, another is operational expenditure. In capital expenditure, you have to manage all the things, tangential resources like building, repairing the parking lot, building a data center, buying a company vehicle. In contrast, OPEX is spending money on services or products over time. OPEX is spending money on services or products over time: renting a convention center, leasing a company vehicle, signing up for clouds. So are all examples of operational expenditure. Cloud computing falls under operational expenditure because cloud computing operates on a consumption based model. Cloud computing falls under operational expenditure because cloud computing operates on consumption based model. With cloud computing, you don't pay for the physical infrastructure, the electricity, the security, anything else associated with maintaining a data center. Instead, you pay for the IT resources you use. If you don't use any IT resources this month, you don't pay for any IT resources. This consumption based model has many benefits, including no upfront costs, no need to purchase and manage costly infrastructure that users might not use to its fullest potential, the ability to pay for more resources when you are needed, ability to stop paying for resources that are no longer needed. With a traditional data center, you try to estimate the future resource needs. If you overestimate, you spend more on your data center than you need to and potentially waste money. If you underestimate, your data center will quickly reach capacity and your application services may suffer from your decreased performance. Fixing an under provisioned data center can take a long time. You may need to order, receive, and install more hardware. You will also need to add power, cooling, and networking for extra hardware. So you have to think about what models you are going to use. So be know just that cloud module is based on consumption based model, which is a operational expenditure. By using consumption based module, we have lots of benefits, no upfront cost, no need to purchase manage costly infrastructure that users might not use to its fully potential, the ability to pay for more resources when they are needed, the ability to stop paying for resources when they are no longer needed. So these are the benefits of consumption based model which is used by cloud computing. In a cloud based model, you don't have to worry about getting the resource needs just right. You find that you need more virtual machines, you add more. If the demand drops, you don't need as many virtual machines, you do more virtual machines. Either way, you are only paying for the virtual machines that you use, not the extra capacity that the cloud provider had on hand. So these are the benefits of cloud computing over data feeds on premises data center. So now I'll discuss compare cloud pricing modules. Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet by using a pay-as-you-go pricing module. Cloud computing, the delivery of computing services over the internet by using a pay-as-you-go pricing model. You typically pay for only for the cloud services you use, which helps you plan and manage your operating cost, run your infrastructure more efficiently, scale as your business needs changes. So by using cloud computing, the delivery of computing services over the internet by using a pay as you go model, pay as you go pricing model. You typically pay only for the cloud services you use, which helps you plan and manage your operating system. So cloud computing model says that you only pay for what you use, and this will help plan and manage your operating costs, run your infrastructure more efficiently, scale as your business needs change. To put it another way, cloud computing is a way to rent compute power and storage from someone else's data center. So cloud computing is a way to rent compute power storage from someone else's data center. Cloud computing, what is cloud computing? We can say that cloud computing is a way to rent computer power storage from someone else's data center. You can treat cloud provide resources like you would resource in your data center. However, unlike in your data center, when you are done using cloud resources, you give them back. You are billed only for what you use. As we have said, cloud computing is a pay as you go pricing model. So you have to pay only for what you have used. By saying cloud computing is a way to rent compute power and storage from someone else's data center. Instead of maintaining CPUs and storage in your data center, you rent them for the time that you need them. The cloud provider takes care of maintaining the underlying infrastructure for you. The cloud enables you to quickly solve your toughest business challenge and bring cutting edge solution to your users. So by you can understand what is on which pricing model cloud computing is working. By using cloud computing model, you come to know that cloud computing is using pay as you go pricing model, which is very much essential, which very much essentially helping us to manage our infrastructure, to manage our resources and pay for only what we are using, not waste of money. In the another way, we can say cloud computing is way to rent compute power storage from someone else's data center. You only have to pay. You don't have to worry about physical data center, physical networking, network controls and network host. All are the things managed by the cloud provider. So this is all about pricing concepts, pricing modules of the cloud computing. Cloud computing is a pay as you go pricing module. In this pricing module, you only pay for what you use, not for the everything like data, physical data center, yeah, on-premise data center. When you have to increase your load, there the demands of computing resources increases, so you have to install more and resources, and when the demands decreases you can't do with that, so that time there is wasting of resources. But in the cloud there is no such scenario. When you have increases demand, you can deploy more resources, you don't have to worry about anything, you only pay for what you use. So and when the demand drops you can decrease the resources. So in that both cases you have to pay only for the resources what you use. You don't have to worry about managing the infrastructure, physical networking. All these things are managed by cloud provider. Cloud, by saying cloud computing is a way to rent someone else's data center for computing power and storage. Now we can understand what we have learned in this module. Let's summarize all these things. In this module, you learned about general cloud concepts. You started with things like MUTLI, then you know what cloud computing is. You also learned about the shared responsibility module, how you and your cloud provider share the responsibility of keeping your information in the cloud secure. You briefly cover the differences between cloud modules, public, private, and hybrid, and multi-cloud. Then you wrapped up with unit on how the cloud shifts IT spend, capital expenses to an operational expense. Learning objectives.